Mm.
Um, Overvalued or not? And does it mean that we're in bubble territory? There we go.
I love how you give me the easy questions on this
That's because
podcast,
I
mate.
can't. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't be bothered to answer them. Exactly that. Is it overvalued or undervalued? Well, it's certainly not undervalued, that's for sure. Is it overvalued? I think that's very, very hard to say
Well, how
because,
do you value it?
well, exactly that. We will only know how it's valued once they've gone through the IPO roadshow, once they've priced the IPO, and once it actually trades in the open market. But as I said to you before we hit record, or record even, one thing I would be loath to do is to bet against Elon Musk, because a lot of people who have done that over the years, whether you like Musk or not, have lost their shirt. And I think you'd be a pretty brave man to think that you get a different outcome this time around. Does SpaceX IPO mean that we're in a bubble? I'm going to say no, but what I would say is that very often what we tend to see is where big IPOs, and we mentioned this last week actually, they do tend to, with the benefit of hindsight, they do tend to happen nearer to the end of a market cycle than the start of a market cycle. And of course, this year is going to be a very, very big year of IPOs, not only with SpaceX, but also with the likes of potentially OpenAI and also possibly Anthropic coming down the pipeline later this year as well. So it's certainly something to bear in mind, but I think fundamentally you've got to expect the SpaceX IPO to be a success. The one thing I would be worried about is Tesla, because at the minute, if you want I just mentioned, don't bet against Musk. If you want a way to bet on Musk, you buy Tesla. On the 12th of June, you're going to have two ways to bet on Musk. You can buy Tesla or you can buy SpaceX. Well, for the time being, because there's some chatter that Musk might want to merge the two eventually. But in the meantime, the SpaceX IPO could actually be a big headwind for Tesla, I think.
Yeah. I think you're probably right on that score. I still find it difficult to square the valuation though. Last year, total revenues for SpaceX, $18.7 billion. Okay. So, we're not talking huge sums of money here. Yet against that annual revenue target, you've got a valuation of $1.5 trillion. So even by my crude maths, that's 70 times revenues,
Punchy.
which is a little bit punchy, and how would you categorize SpaceX? Is it a aerospace stock? Is it a telecoms stock? Because it's got
Well,
three divisions.
officially, they're going to be a telecom stock.
Okay, so telecom stocks. So Starlink, accounts for $11.4 billion of those revenues, of those 18.7. You've then got the space division, and then you've got obviously AIX and X, Twitter. So that makes up the balance. Now, Musk has said, or the S1 has said, that it sees an addressable market of
This is laughable.
$28.5 trillion. Okay, 28 point. But that presupposes that they're able to tap into a market that they currently don't have any products for, and that's what I struggle with.
Yeah, no, and I don't disagree. And I was actually while you were talking about that, I was looking at price to sales for someone like Nvidia. They trade about 25 times, and you'd say that their valuation's a little bit lofty. It comes back to that whole point, though, that with something like SpaceX, and actually with the AI IPOs we'll get later in the year, I don't think there are many people out there building an investment case for these based on the cold hard facts or the financials in black and white in the S1. I think actually what a lot of people are doing, whether it's right or wrong, are building an investment case for these based on the hopes and dreams of the story that the company in question is selling at the end of the day.
I mean, you look at the space division, that generated $4 billion in revenue, but it still posted an operating loss of $619 million. But obviously you've got the R&D spend, which is going to go on Starship. Now, obviously, Starship is going to be the delivery system, the launch vehicle for the moon missions, but also for delivering these data centers in space. It doesn't work yet.
Which still seems like a fanciful idea to me, although I will say I am no expert in that at all.
I tell you what, for fair play to him, he thinks big, and historically he's managed to deliver. But even I struggle to think that he's going to be able to do it in the time frame that they've set aside for it. I think it's deliverable, but is it deliverable within the time frame that the markets are currently looking at it? Anyway, I mean, that's essentially my concern about it. I'm not touching it. I just think there's just too many unknown unknowns, to coin a phrase, about it.
Yeah.
And it's trading on the grey market at around about $200 a share. Now, whether or not that's, expensive or not, we don't know, because ultimately
Give it a fortnight and we'll be able to tell you.
We only know that they're looking to raise about between $50 and $75 billion.